Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Lehmann here today to read some more of Dexter the Tough. We are on chapter 13. Miss Abbott had left the phone just dangling from the wall. It took Dexter 2 tries to scoop it up. "Hello?" he whispered into the receiver. "Oh, Dexter," Mom said on the other end of the line. "I've got the best news. The bone marrow transplant. They found a donor." "They did?" Dexter was so surprised he almost dropped the phone. "But Dad said they couldn't. He said—" I know, Mom said, and she was almost laughing now. Dexter couldn't remember the last time he'd heard her laugh. But it's like the doctors wanted to double and triple check the registry before they started him on the experimental treatment, and something new turned up, a donor in Kansas, someone who must have just signed up. "Daddy has to go to Kansas?" Dexter asked. He tried to remember exactly where Kansas was. No, they'll ship the marrow to the hospital here. Oh, Dexter, isn't this wonderful?" Dexter was trying to take it all in. He still felt dazed, like his feelings hadn't caught up with the news. "Then you'll come home," he said, and we'll be just like before?" He meant before Daddy got sick. He could picture him and Mom and Dad living in their house in Cincinnati again. Dexter going to his old school, playing with his old friends at recess. Daddy sometimes even coming out and playing football with them in the yard. It would be like nothing bad had ever happened. "Well, it's going to be a while still, but yes, that's what we're working toward," Mom said. "This could completely cure Daddy so he'll never be sick again. Can you imagine? No more living out of hospital rooms, no more chemo making him throw up, no more being apart from you." Dexter tightened his grip on the phone. "You don't like being away?" "Dexter, haven't you been listening every night when we tell you how much we miss you?" Actually, Dexter hadn't. Or if he'd been listening, it really hadn't sunk in. "I thought you liked Seattle," he said. "Oh, please," Mom said. "Did you think I've been sightseeing, going up in the Space Needle, hiking at Mount Rainier? I've barely left the hospital, and that's okay. I want to be here with Dad. He needs me. But I hate being away from you, and I can't wait until Daddy's better and we can all go home. That's why this is the most incredible news. Aren't you excited?" "Yeah," Dexter said, except excited wasn't quite the right word. It was more like he had hope bubbling up inside him now, hope for things he hadn't even let himself think before. "When Daddy gets better," he began slowly, "when you come home, when we're all back together at our house, then can I get a dog?" The words just slipped out. Dexter bit his tongue, afraid that Mom would think he was being selfish, that he didn't really care about Batty. But the dog was his test. If they let him get a dog, that would mean everything was really okay. Mom didn't get upset. She started laughing again, sending bursts of giggles through the phone. "Oh, Dexter," she sputtered, gasping for air. "Oh, Dexter, yes!" Chapter 14. Grandma wanted to celebrate. "Think we should throw a party?" she asked when Dexter got home from school. "Want to invite some friends? How about the boy you met in the park?" "No," Dexter said slowly. "Okay, just us," Grandma said. "I understand. Want to order pizza? Ribs? As far as I'm concerned, tonight you can have all the ice cream you want." The phone rang just then. Yes, Grandma said into the receiver. "You heard right. We're so happy." Dexter walked over to the kitchen window while she was talking. The window looked out on Grandma's garage where she'd kept Uncle Ted's bike before she let Dexter ride it. Maybe she'd never get it back now, because Dexter was too ashamed to go over to the Bryces to get it. Grandma hung up her phone call. "That was Marilyn Dowd, who lived next door when your mom was a little girl," she said. "And that reminds me," she began, "darling, I should let Peggy Friston know, too." This time, while Grandma was on the phone, Dexter pulled his story out of his backpack. Miss Abbott had told him that because of the big news, she'd give him an extension on his story. He wouldn't have to turn it in until next week. "You probably don't feel like concentrating on schoolwork right now," she had said. Miss Abbott hadn't known until today that Dexter's dad needed a bone marrow transplant. She didn't know that Dexter hadn't felt like concentrating on schoolwork since Dad got sick. On the phone, Grandma was telling Peggy Friston, whoever that was, "I just had to share the good news. Of course, we still have to pray for Thomas's complete recovery, but this is such a miracle." Dexter reread his story all the way up to the last line. Robin was crying before Dexter hit him. The thing was, Dexter did kind of want Robin to come over and celebrate. He wanted Robin to know that Dexter's dad was going to be okay. He wanted Robin to know that Dexter's mom hadn't just left him behind for no good reason. He wanted Robin to know that Dexter was going to get a dog. He even wanted to tell Robin the jokes about transplanting marshmallow stuff. But Dexter had hit Robin. Dexter had beaten Robin up, and Robin had told his mom about it, and there was no way Robin's mom would want Robin hanging around with Dexter now. Dexter remembered how he thought that when Mom and Dad came home, it would be like nothing had ever happened. Dexter didn't really understand how a bone marrow transplant worked. He thought it was kind of like a do-over in basketball, where Daddy's body would get a whole new chance to make good blood instead of bad. There wasn't any kind of a transplant that could undo Dexter beating up Robin. How could Mom and Dad have such good news when Dexter was still so messed up? And that, boys and girls, is the end of chapter 14. This is such great news about Dexter's dad, but I wonder what's going to be the resolution between Dexter and Robin. I'm looking forward to finding out. Have a great afternoon.